84 of the Compound Podcast presented by Parse Rum. When I say Parse, you say Rum. Parse.
Rum.
I think Zack got that one.
No shot. You're drunk.
If you need some Parse, if you want some Parse, it's about that time of year for some Parse. Go to Binny's, go to your local liquor store, get yourself some Parse. Comes in a nice box, nice red or black box. Parse. We get a lot of news this week. I think we have a lot of personal news for an off season. You don't often get a ton of personal news in the off season, but I feel like we have some news that is close to us, and I'm going to lead with Zack Short is no longer a Go Tigers. He is a New York Met, and I'm going to have to think of something, okay? I have to think of something because I don't have a Go Tigers for the Mets, but I'm going to think of something. Short, probably mixed feelings, probably mixed emotions. How you feeling? How did it happen? How'd you find out? How you feeling?
Yeah, so again, I've talked about this before. Like, I figured it was going to happen, honestly, last year. Just kind of the writing on the wall, not playing well, not getting opportunities, like all good, part of the business, part of the game, no hurt feelings. And I know, like, there's some dates in the offseason where you kind of have to have a 40-man set. You have to have guys coming off the IL or off the 60-day, like. So I figured things were going to be happening somewhat soon. And we got back from like a family kind of weekend in New Jersey. And I'm on my way to go work out later in the day. And I leave. I'm like 2 minutes down the road. And I see one of our assistant GMs is calling me. And I was like, you know what? And I'm like going towards the exit of where I need to go work out, and I answer it. And like, I can see how the conversation's going. And I'm like, you know what? Probably not gonna be able to work out. I'm going to have to be on the phone for a little bit. And I just kept driving. And, he was just like, hey, this, that, you were claimed by the Mets. Thanks for everything, blah, blah, blah. And then right after that, my phone started to ring a little bit, but, like you said, Ian, there's a lot of mixed emotions. Obviously a new opportunity is great. But again, it's very early in the offseason. A lot can happen, but it's bittersweet. Like, the Tigers gave me a shot 3 years ago. They traded for me, gave me a shot. I made my debut with them. I've learned so much from that organization. I've met so many people. I've played with one of my best friends for 3 years, who I went to school with. And then kind of just to, like I said, you saw the writing on the wall for a little bit, and kind of just to have it actually happen was, a different feeling. It's, like I said, very bittersweet, but at the end of the day, again, if I'm fortunate enough to stay on the roster with the Mets, like I said, it's a long off season. It'd be great. Playing for your childhood team seems pretty special, playing close to home. I've had so many people reach out, and I'm so thankful for, like I said, I've made some great relationships over the last 3 or 4 years with the Tigers. And like I said, there's no hard feelings, no nothing. But yeah, it's an exciting time. Like, it feels like a breath of fresh air almost, where it's a new opportunity. It's a new, hopefully, like I said, new opportunity for something great.
It's pretty crazy because, you get traded and you go over there and you get to be in the big leagues and debut there. So that's like an amazing memory. You get to watch Miggy do his thing for the last few years, his career. That's incredible. You get to play for AJ, who I know you have a great relationship with and respect a lot. Post, who we all know well, goes from being your hitting coordinator to your manager in AAA, again, to watch him manage for the first time. Like, there's such a lot of really cool things. And then this is a super unique opportunity where you have a chance to play close to home where you grew up, and an opportunity on a team that is spending money trying to compete, like, going to be in it next year, with a new, and it's also like a huge compliment. I think this is kind of overlooked in the grand scheme of things, is like Stearns came in over there, took over, and like he's forming what he wants the Mets to look like. And like that dude went out, saw your name, and like claimed you and wanted you to be a New York Met. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, like, again, nobody dreams about being, DFA'd or put on waivers, obviously. But again, on the other side of the coin, like you said, it's it's a very, like you said, good feeling. And the way the waiver wire works is, they have the like the tire, like the draft order basically of, who has first priority, and they were one of the, earlier teams. So again, it's all things considered, I'm very excited. Like I said, had a lot of special people, a lot of special relationships in Detroit. Learned a lot, play with some great human beings and great baseball players. But at the end of the day, it's a business, and there's been a lot of people in this game who have been DFA'd before and turned it around. So I'm excited. The off season's going great so far. And again, I'm in a good spot mentally and physically. So it's been an exciting week or so.
I would just like credit the day it happened. I was the first to put on a Mets hat. I sent him a Snapchat where I drew a Mets hat on my head, and I put ZS quotations, question mark, question mark. We don't know what number yet. I'm hoping he stays with 5'9". Hearing rumblings of him trying to buy the number 12. I don't know who wears that right now for the Mets, but I heard he might try to take that one. Not sure who. Someone might have it. I don't know who, but I don't know. We'll see.
I plead the fifth on that one. Yeah.
But that was the exact answer, because you texted us in our group text about it. And that was like the exact answer you gave. Like when I asked you, like, are you excited, happy, sad, mad? Like, what do you got? And it's like you said, like, you don't dream of being DFA'd. Like, you're never happy to be DFA'd, but you grew up a Mets fan. Like, that's pretty sick that, like you guys said, like, the Mets wanted you. Like, teams don't just claim guys just like, I don't know, like, this guy's got a cool name, let's pick him up. Like, like, they like you, like someone there likes you. So that's always got to be a good feeling that another team sees you as like you're a big leaguer. Like, they wouldn't claim you otherwise.
Right. And I would like to think that, I bring a lot of winning qualities to teams. So, a team
100%.
like you said, Ian, they're going out there and they're spending money. They're trying to compete. The roster situation is a little bit different than I'm sure what they have liked in the last year or so. But again, they have Lindor, they have, Senga, they have Alvarez catcher, they have a bunch of young people coming up. They have Pete Alonso if they don't trade him. It's, again, I'm sure last year wasn't
Nimmo, McNeil, like they got
right. Like, there's some names. So again, still a lot of off season left, but as of now, I'm going to go and compete for a job in spring training, and like you said, hopefully play for my childhood dream.
Can you
number 12 might be a little hard to get, the Francisco Lindor. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah, that was
no.
That might be a tough one to buy.
Yeah, but I don't know. He might. I don't know his contract.
Who's got a better glove? Who's got a better glove? I'd put him up against anybody.
Doesn't he have platinum?
This is it. I'm looking for a specific answer here. The best part, and this is not a knock on the Tigers, what's the best part about no longer being on the Tigers and now being on the Mets? You know the answer. This is a specific answer that will not like insult either team. Think of spring training.
Yeah.
No more Lakeland. Yeah, no more Lakeland. Now it's what?
You're right.
St. Lucie.
Yeah, Port St. Lucie. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's
No, you're gonna miss it, man.
I don't know.
From Tampa.
I don't know about that one, Jim.
I will miss not living with Scotty Efros, friend of the pod. We were looking forward
Scotty
to
needs a roommate.
Is Port St. Lucie not near?
No,
Tampa.
It's on the other side.
Hours.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, you guys could get a place in the middle.
Yeah.
We'll put out a little ad. Anybody that wants to room with Scotty in Tampa, just shoot us a message. We'll get him over to him. He'll start sorting through applications.
I might go down there and just take care of Scotty in spring if I got nothing else going on. Get
That's
him
a
ready.
Good point. I like that. I like that idea.
Get him ready.
Just being a good teammate.
Why not?
Good friend. Not a teammate, just friend.
The other big bit of news in Cubbyland.
This one shocked.
This happened. A lot of stuff happened right after we recorded last week. So this is about a week old now, but the Cubs moved on from David Ross and hired Craig Counsell. Now, nobody saw the Cubs as a potential bidder here, which is why it was so crazy. It was the Mets, it was maybe Houston, maybe, I don't know, it was like 3 or 4 teams. Maybe going back to Milwaukee, and then the Cubs make the move. It was just kind of out of the blue. I have a ton of respect for David Ross. He was a great manager, a great friend, and gave me a chance to play every day. Started in 2020, and really helped me learn a lot about the game. And so, always, challenging when you have someone who you're that close to, and you lose them in the clubhouse. But Counsell is an incredible manager. He's had an amazing track record, always across the field. Had a ton of respect for the way that he has gone about it with their group. The way that he manages the bullpen, the moves he makes is always kind of, been super impressive. So excited to get going with him and pick his brain. He's been around the game for a long time, and he was announced officially today.
This might be a dumb question. Was his contract up?
Rossi had
No.
1 year left.
Nope.
Counsell, yes.
Okay.
Counsell was a free agent manager.
So why was the Brewers owner so salty? Just because he went to the Cubs? Like, I feel like his comments were like pretty salty about it, weren't they?
I think it was the Cubs part.
Just because it went to like an in-division rival.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, it was crazy because I don't think you ever see, like, you'll see like a mid-season, like in a sport, like say in basketball, like if they fire their head coach, you have to have an interim ready. So like they'll be like, oh, we fired this guy, but the whatever associate head coach is now the interim head coach, or we hired this guy. But to kind of just be like, oh, like Rossi's got another year, like Cubs competed this year, like just missed out on the playoffs. But then in the same tweet to be like, we fired Ross and hired Counsell. It was like, that was just crazy to me to see. It's like, what? Like, hey, we found someone we like better. Sorry.
That I don't know if I've ever had such a bit of shocking news come to me slightly before the general public found out. I found out maybe an hour and a half before it started to get leaked. And I was like, I was sitting there I was on a call, but I was kind of like gently refreshing Twitter to see when it would break and then what the reaction would be. Cause like, it's like, I was shocked when I found out.
Well,
and I knew like people would be like, what?
Did you see the tweet? They were like, Counsell's going to manage next year, but it's with a team that already has a manager. And it's like,
yeah, that's
wait.
when I knew somebody had it. It was like he's not going to go with the Mets. And then people were like, oh, it's got to be the Astros. Or maybe he's going back to Milwaukee. And then it was like, it's not the Mets or Milwaukee. And then it was like, oh my God, it's the Astros. And then it was like, it's a team that already currently has a manager. And then it was like, who is that?
You're like, wait, what?
And obviously we should clear up, like the Cubs let Ross know before,
Yeah.
getting like it kind of sounds like if someone from the outside is probably like, oh, they hired Counsell and then fired Ross. It's like, no, like they knew, like they let Ross know before everything moved on. I'm sure, like,
Yeah.
But it was bonkers.
I saw something that Jed, the Cubs GM, did it very quietly. Just like, hey, I'm the GM. I got okay from the owner. I'm going to try to get this done. And then that makes sense though, because you don't want other people hearing this. If it doesn't work out like
There's
that,
another way to
what
do
is
it.
that going to create?
There was another way to do it, because if they tried and didn't work and it was leaked, then you have a big.
You're done.
mess. Yeah, but bonkers. And
I'm gonna ask
Yep.
Zack because Ian played for him, and I feel like it's just an awkward question for Ian. I won't say it surprised me that Ross was let go. Like, I wouldn't say it was shocking that they moved on. Would you agree with that?
I think I wouldn't say recency biased, but I think the last month of the season with the Cubs and how they kind of Ian, you guys really turned it around, bought at the deadline, and then we're in a really good position and then didn't make the playoffs. I think it might have struck a chord where they're like, something's got to change here.
Yeah, there was reporting in the media that Tom Ricketts people were saying that close to him that he was as upset as people had ever seen him regarding the Cubs and that final series in Milwaukee. And it did feel like from an outsider's perspective, obviously I know nothing.
Right.
It felt like that might have been the difference that last week between David Ross keeping his job and not keeping his job, unfortunately for him.
It's also, and I'm not trying to like bash the Cubs here at all, but it's also a point of like, you didn't get him that much help at the deadline. Like, it's not like they went all in and said like, oh, we bought this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. And like, look at the team we gave you and you couldn't win a World Series or like get to the playoffs. Like, I feel like he wasn't dealt the best hand and they're just like, well, we got to blame somebody. Like, it has to be him. So I'm saying, I'm kind of going back and forth on, it didn't shock me, but at the same time, it's not like he was handed the keys to a Bentley and then crashed it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
They weren't expected to win the World Series. No offense. You know?
The thing was, at the beginning of the season, I think most Cubs fans probably wouldn't have expected to make the playoffs.
No.
So if you told them at the end of the season, Cubs didn't make the playoffs, but, you know, came within a game of doing so, I think most fans would have been happy. I think, unfortunately, the way it played out probably was a big factor in the decision. Ultimately,
For sure.
They had like a 93% chance of making the playoffs at one point. You know,
all right, Tom, we don't need those numbers. All right, come on. Those numbers hurt. Come on.
They're just numbers. They're just numbers, Tom.
But sports is like being a manager, obviously crazy hard position, but it's just crazy to me that like a team can go out there and not fail, but miss the playoffs, whatever, however you choose to describe it as a failed season. And it's like, oh, well, we can't blame the players. We can't blame this or that. Like, it's got to be the manager. He's got to go. Like, I'm not saying Rossi was Joe Torre, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you're in a tough spot. Like, I don't know. It's tough, but it didn't shock me because they are the Chicago Cubs. Like, I feel like obviously they had the long drought, won the World Series, competed for years, did like a mini rebuild for like 2-3 years. And now it's like, all right, we're ready to win again. And you see what Counsell did with the Brewers with what, half the payroll of the Cubs, something like that. Like they're like, okay, if Counsell can win with that, like without having money to spend, like we're going to give this guy money. We're going to get the players in. Let's see what he should take us to the promised land. So I get it. I get the move.
Ian, have you talked to Craig Counsell at all?
I have. He gave me a call that night when it was announced and got to talk to him for a few minutes. Obviously, a ton of stuff going on. I did not get to see him today at Wrigley. He was doing a million things. So much media.
I bet that's a little awkward. Wouldn't you think that's like not awkward for him, but like, I guess awkward's not the right word, but you know what I mean? Like, he just basically came and took someone's. It wasn't like, oh, there was an opening here. It's like he came and took someone's job. Not like it's his fault, but I feel like that's just kind of gotta feel a little weird.
I mean, yeah, the Cubs aren't afraid to do that. You know, similar situation with Joe. I mean, not like apples to apples, but you know, they brought Joe in, and Rick Renneria still had some time on his contract when they brought Joe in, and you know, it's something they've definitely done before.
Yeah. And it's and I am also seeing we've seen many reports. Cubs are apparently in the running for Shohei. I'm hearing they're the most aggressive pursuers. That would be nuts. Nuts. If the Cubs get Shohei, I demand we have an emergency recording that day with Seiya as an interview and talking about how he recruited Shohei to the Cubs.
Demanding an emergency pod?
With Seiya and asking him what role he played in getting Shohei there.
I haven't read a lot of those rumors or the articles attached to those rumors, but I did see that Shohei is expected to make a decision around the winter meetings, like Thanksgiving, just after Thanksgiving. I don't believe it, but that's what they're saying.
After Thanksgiving, you said?
What are the winter meetings, Tom? They're like second week of
I think
December,
they're
first week of December.
Yeah, they are. They're like the first week of December.
Which would be great for free agency. It would move free agency along, but I just don't know if that's going to happen. Because I think it's just going to be, unless somebody comes in over the top with like a crazy number.
But he's going to be obviously the huge chip to fall to where like the teams in on him are going to have to wait on other moves to be like, well, we might owe $400 million here soon. Like we should probably wait and see if we can get this guy $500 million.
Well, that's why I don't think anything's going to happen in free agency until he goes.
No, well, at least for the teams vying for him. Like obviously some teams just simply can't afford it, but
Winter meetings are December 3rd through 6th in Nashville this year.
They're
Nashville,
saying
what are they
that
going to
that would
party?
be the time, but like it would be even the teams that aren't in the running, the other free agents will wait because like the free agent dominoes have to fall. So like Shohei has to go to somebody, and then the teams that don't get him pivot to Belly or Chapman or maybe Nola or Snell. And then once like those guys get off the board, then the other pieces start to fall. So like I just don't know if it's going to happen that early, but this could be one of those free agencies that drags until January.
Well, I was going to say that too. Like there are some big names in free agency this year. Like that Yamamoto guy coming over from Japan. He's supposed to be like the real deal.
I mean,
and then
Snell
you got
just
like,
went out and won
That's
the
right.
or the Cy Young, and he's out there. You know, Nola's a big name. He's out there.
Belly,
You know,
like you said.
the hitting class isn't like deep, but you have some big names at the top. You know, you still have Belly, you still have Chapman.
Jordan
you know, Teoscar
Montgomery finished
Hernandez has been
strong.
a good player. Mike Montgomery finished really strong.
No,
He's gonna get a big
Jordan.
number.
Jordan Montgomery.
Jordan, what did I say?
You said Mike Montgomery. He pitched the last out of the World Series for the
He
Cubs.
did.
So good call.
Yep. He was a teammate. That's why he was a teammate. Yep, Jordan
Good.
Montgomery.
Matt Chapman.
But you know,
good player. Jorge Soler, good player.
once all those free agency decisions are made, then you'll be able to go to SeatGeek. Be able to go to SeatGeek, their ticketing app that makes buying tickets super simple with over 28 million downloads. SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There's more than 70,000 events every single day on SeatGeek, including sports, concerts, festivals, and more. If you're going to go to Argentina and see Taylor Swift play, you could go to SeatGeek. We've got the hookup. Use code COMPOUND for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase with the promo code COMPOUND. Click the link in the description to download the app.
Could I call my shot real quick on one free agent? I'd like to call
go
my
ahead.
shot first to report it. This is by no means reporting it. This is me reporting my guess. I would like to lock in Rhys Hoskins to the Chicago Cubs. I feel like that is a perfect fit. Need a first baseman, plays first base, good right-handed hitter. People forget about him because he was out most of the year. Yeah,
All the year.
The whole year, right? Yeah. So I feel like that's a perfect fit. That's my shot. That's me calling my shot. Rhys Hoskins to the Cubs.
Can I call a shot?
Depends who it is.
Not a Cub shot. I'm calling it not Cub shot.
But I want who's the name of the person, and I
say
want
that's
to think in my
tampering,
head.
sir.
What's the name of the person? I'm going to think in my head if I can think of the same person or think of the same team.
Nola.
Ooh, I don't
Atlanta.
Even guess. I want to hear it. Who do you think?
But I think the Cardinals are going to go.
Ooh, I like that. Well, because the
That's
Cardinals,
it's my pick of the offseason.
with the Cardinals not selling Goldie or Arenado, like they're like they had a tough season, but they're still probably buyers this offseason. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're not rebuilding. Like they have a ton of talent.
They have enough young players that aren't costing a bunch of money. They need to replenish pitching staff. I bet they go get Nola.
I like that. I don't like that for you because then you have to face him a lot. But I like that call. But you know who would see him well? Rhys Hoskins, because they were teammates. Boom. You're welcome.
Boom. Other news that came out about the Cubbies. The Cubbies are opening the season in
Tejas,
Texas against the Rangers, and we're going to be playing opening night. Does that mean we're the only game in town, or is everybody playing and we're just the night game?
No, I think that's like the way I read it is they do it like I guess NBA they do 2 games, but it's like opening night. Like I think it's just like you guys are playing. I could be wrong. on that. I think that'd be sick.
We're playing before everybody else because
like the NFL
I knew
does
that we were opening against. I knew we were opening against Texas, but I think last year everybody opened at the same time on the same day. They might have done that for a couple years in a row, and they're going back to this one game before everybody else plays.
I think that'd be sick. I'm not positive if that's what they're doing, but I think that's cool. Like I think you'll get, especially Cubs, huge market. Rangers just won the World Series. Like that'll get some eyes on it.
I believe I just did some quick research. It appears all 30 teams are playing on the 28th, which is the day you guys are opening.
Damn it!
I think this
No
is
longer cool.
We're just the night.
It's no longer cool.
Ian, you've been to that Texas place, right?
No.
You're in for a treat. And it's gonna be packed. Oh, you're in for a treat.
Zach loves that place.
Yeah.
Oh,
Should be a great atmosphere. I also love that
God.
hotel, and an off day at that hotel is going to be glorious.
where you know which doesn't matter.
The Las Colinas.
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
How do you already know
Yeah,
what hotel
so-
you're staying in?
Come on, man. Been around the block.
It's a captain. The guy signed an extension.
With the C on his chest.
He has a C
Yeah,
on his
but-
chest.
That's super exciting for the show Cubbies. I don't think I've ever played an opening day night game because our opening days at Wrigley are always days because it's cold,
And freezing.
and our opening day in Miami was day. I don't think I've ever played an opening day night.
Hey,
game.
remember you hit a homer that day?
At Miami.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Cody, you had some other topics you want to?
I only had two other ones. One of them, Tom will be very interested in. The Brian Cashman rant, where he was interviewed and kind of went off for a little bit. Kind of went off, Tom.
Just to add to it, he said more things today.
Was that a real quote? Like about
Yes.
Stanton?
Yes, I will read it to you. This is credited to Gary Phillips, the Daily News here in New York. It said, I'm not going to tell you this is about Giancarlo Stanton. I'm not going to tell you he's going to play every game next year because he's not. He's going to wind up getting hurt again, more likely than not, because it seems to be a part of his game.
That's I mean, who
That's
am I to
crazy.
say what Brian Cashman can and can't say? But I feel like that's just something you can't say.
Brian Cashman seems to be on like a heat check right now. He's like, I got power and I'm not getting fired. If I'm not getting fired after this season, I'm not getting fired ever. So I guess I got free reign.
I kind of loved his first rant. Like, I don't know what it was, but I just kind of loved it because it was real. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like the typical answers of like, oh, like we're going to go into the offseason, we're going to rebuild, we're going to get some pieces in, and we're going to go contend for the world. Like, he just said exactly what he thought, and I kind of liked that. But I'm not a huge fan of the, oh, like it's part of his game, he's going to get hurt. It's like, well, he doesn't like getting hurt. No one likes to get hurt. No one wants to get
Yeah,
hurt.
he's not
So, like,
trying.
that's
He's not
tough.
trying to get hurt.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, like Stanton's not going to try for a few games because that's what he does. It's like, okay, if you're questioning like effort, sure, call a guy out for that. But injuries, like, I don't know. That's tough.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah.
I thought the first rant at the GM meetings, I thought it was great because he was kind of going back at the reporters and trying to stick up for the
He was back,
organization a
yeah, he
little
was
bit, stick
backing
up-
his guys up too.
and yeah, backing the players up. But I thought it was great that he was backing up his guys. Tom didn't like it. Tom, tell us your thoughts.
No, but that's why I loved that first one. The first one was real, man. He meant that. Like, that was real anger and excitement.
I think it came across incredibly arrogant. I think I'll be honest. I worked in the Yankees organization for a little bit. I am so sick and goddamn tired of hearing about how great the Yankees organization is. This is a true fact. I worked there during the 2019 season. Out of the 13 employees in the department I worked in PR. So I didn't work in baseball ops. I didn't work on that side of the thing. But this, I think, gives you an idea of the kind of place it is to work. Out of the 13 people that I worked with, 11 have left the organization. And I think that says something about the culture right now going on with the Yankees organization. This is a team that thinks it is at the mountaintop, and it is no longer at the mountaintop. And a lot of the people that have been there for a really long time have gotten really comfortable in their positions. And I think they need a kick in the ass and to be waking up, because I'm really fucking tired of hearing an 80, 82, whatever they were this season, and saying, oh, we're fucking great. No, you fucking were not. If you were fucking great, you would have made the playoffs. I'm so sick and tired of Brian Cashman. And what is this comment today? You traded for Stan. You know about his injury history. And as you guys said, I don't think it's fair at all to question. There's a lot of things you can question about Stan's approach, maybe at the plate. I'm very tired of watching Giancarlo Stanton. I heard David Cohen saying this on Towing the Slab. I'm very tired of watching Giancarlo Stanton watching fastballs right down the middle every first pitch. There's things you can question with Giancarlo Stanton. I don't think it's fair to question his heart and to say that he's always going to be injured. What does that do? How does that help the team? I'm really sick and tired of hearing how great of an organization the Yankees are. Great. You're a great organization. Go out and win some fucking championships. Yeah, you're going to spend more money than everyone else in baseball every single year. And for the last 23 years, you've got one championship to show for it. Go pat yourselves in the back some more. All of you have been here for those 23 years and you got one championship. Go tell us about what a great organization you are. I am done with it. I'm so done with it.
And that's coming from our resident Yankee fan. I will say, Tom, to your point.
Tom, that was a good rant.
I wish you were passionate, Tom.
It is kind of crazy that you're the New York Yankees. I don't know if any other org's even done this. Maybe like the A's. But like you're the New York Yankees. And like you said, they won in 2009. Like I think Cashman's been there since 98. And he was kind of handed like the keys to the kingdom. Like they won 3 straight, but like he was handed 3 great teams. Like didn't have to do that much. Won in 2009, but it's like, okay, in 23 years, you've won 1 championship. We give you all the money in the world to build the best team. Like I'm kind of surprised he's still there. Like I'm surprised that they haven't been like put it this way. George Steinbrenner wouldn't have let this happen for this long. Like they would have probably by like 2014 been like, all right, enough of this. Like you won in 2009, now you're done. You might not even got in 2009.
Yeah, I mean, there's a segment of Yankee fans that love to do if George was still around. I'm not of that mindset. Like George fired Billy Martin 7 times. I don't think that's actually good either. You know, like we can find something between the two strategies, but I don't understand where this arrogance comes for the Yankee way. When the Yankee way hasn't produced winning results, they have more resources than almost every other team. They have the name brand franchise in the sport, and they haven't won anything. And I don't really understand where Cashman's attitude comes from. They've been able to produce winning teams. I actually think he's still been overall a good general manager, but the last couple seasons have felt that they've needed a different voice in that role. And these comments only seem to confirm it. And at this point, with the comments about Stan today, is he just like, I don't understand. Is he just on a heat check? Is he on a power trip? I don't know what's going on. Like, does the guy know has a microphone in front of his face? Does he know that was on the record? What's going on? Are you okay, Brian Cashman? You want to come on the show and talk? Like, I'm worried about you. Not really, but like a little bit.
I do agree that he's like been a good GM. Like he's gotten good pieces in there. But like you said, like after 23 years and 1 championship, like, and you're the New York Yankees, like, it's like, all right, like maybe we just need a different voice, a different set of eyes on like what the team needs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's how I felt. I think I said that. I feel that same way about Boone. Like, I don't think necessarily last season's Aaron Boone's fault.
Yeah.
I think at a certain point, sometimes you just need a different voice in the clubhouse.
For sure.
You know what I would like to see with the Yankees?
Bruce Bolt batting gloves.
More Bruce Bolt batting gloves. I'd like to see a couple guys rocking the Bolt. Bruce Bolt. My favorite batting gloves that I wear. BruceBolt.us. If you're getting into your off season, if you're maybe doing a little bit of working out this off season, you know what they have? Shorts. They have shorts that are made of super light 4-way stretch material, perfect for working out or just hanging out. They have 2 different lengths. Dakota likes the 5-inch. I like the 7-inch. A bunch of different colors. You can go buy yours today at BruceBolt.us. Dakota.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to comment on what's going on in the state of Michigan?
I don't even like getting into this. Like, I think maybe Zack was saying, or one of my other buddies was saying something about it, the whole Michigan scandal and everything. And I just don't even care. I'm so over it. Like the whole cheating thing, the sign stealing thing. I don't care. Like if they cheated, great. Punish them. They probably did. They're scumbags. Wouldn't shock me. But like now for Jim Harbaugh today to say, oh, Michigan's got to be America's team now after all this criticism we got. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't know of a single person that wasn't already a Michigan fan that is now a Michigan fan because of this. That's insanity. Ian, you don't watch college. Zach, let's ask Zach. Zach, are you a Michigan fan now? Do you feel bad? Do you feel bad for the Wolverines? You're like, oh, Michigan, let's go win it all. Like they screwed you guys. Is that how you feel?
No, it's definitely not how I feel. No.
And that's the stuff. Go ahead, Ian.
I did see the post-game speech from the interim.
Another just insane thing. The guy's crying. We did this for you, Jim. He didn't die. It's fine. He cheated. He didn't do any. Like, what are we talking about? Did this for like? He's at home in his $5 million house with his feet kicked up, enjoying it. Like, what are you talking about? I try to just stay away from it because all it does is make me mad. And Michigan dominates Michigan State in football. I get it. I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're just mad because they beat your ass." I know they did. I was at the game. It's 49-0. I know. Okay, it wasn't fun. They're way better than us. They didn't need our signs to beat us. But if you still cheated, you cheated, and you're scumbags. And it doesn't shock me if they cheated because they're terrible people. It's like Tom said about the arrogance of the Yankees. It's the arrogance of Michigan. Like, oh, we're probably America's team. You're never fucking America's team. Nobody likes you. God, I hate
The
him.
amount,
I hate him so
the
much.
amount of when that assistant coach gave that post game live
Yeah.
talk and the amount of F-bombs that he dropped, and like it was unbelievable. It was like this guy's never been in front of a camera.
Yeah.
It was like, how'd you choose this guy to go out there and be interviewed?
I didn't mind
It
the
was definitely
F-bombs. That was kind
passionate
of
though.
just
There was real passion there.
That's what I was going to say. I don't mind the F-bombs. That's just like, all right, this guy just loves football. Like, he got his chance. Like, he's probably hasn't been a head coach for. Like, that's cool for him. Like, that's awesome for that guy. Awesome. Like, you get thrown in that spot, you go win a
Yes.
big game, sick. But like, to be crying and saying like, we did this for you, Jim. Like, Jim's not sitting in a hospital bed. He's fine. He's doing great. Like, what are you talking about? Did it for Jim. Like, oh, you hired someone that helped us cheat. We got your back though. Like when Harbaugh got suspended and JJ McCarthy, their quarterback, loser, tweets, bet what? You got caught cheating and got punished? What's the bet? Like, it's disgusting. It makes me so angry when people cheat and then play the victim. Like, I get the players the players did nothing wrong. Players didn't know. But like, if you cheated as a university and you got caught and you're getting punished, you are not the victim. Like, save it. And that's my rant. Spartans, they play Duke tomorrow in basketball. It's a big game. We're on to basketball season. Football season's over, except for the Lions.
ERC, employee retention credit from Omega Accounting Solutions could get you back up to $26,000 per employee for overpayment of payroll taxes during the pandemic. It's not too late. Don't miss out on your small business loan tax credit, even if you got the PPP loan. Call 800-643-CUBS or visit smallbizcashback.com/Cubs for a free consultation. Zach, I want to ask you a question.
What do you got for me?
I was watching some football. I'm a football guy. I was watching a little football Sunday night.
Don't get him started. His rant could be worse than mine. Let's see.
The Jets.
I don't know if I have it in me
Let
to rant
him-
anymore.
Let him ask.
Question.
Let him
Try to ask a
speak.
question. The Jets love to kick field goals. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows Jets love to get the ball onto the other team's half of the field and kick field goals. So we've had 4 field goals. It's 12 to, I believe it was 16. And they're driving down the field. Zach Wilson's looking good. He's slinging it sidearm, throwing it around defenders' heads. They're moving the ball. Everything's looking great. And then he throws. It wasn't even a bad pass. Just didn't see the guy, and interception. And before you know it, the game's over. But let me tell you something. In that moment, I was rooting hard for Zach Wilson. I was rooting hard because I think he's got a tough gig. And he's trying his best. And he was looking real good. And then
He
Then he wasn't
was
looking real
the
good.
least of their worries for that game last night.
What was the
It-
most of their worries?
You know what? It's
This is
I
why we
was-
have this platform, is for you to express this.
I don't know. I was just so frustrated because it's just so like I know basic level football, but like I watch the games, pay attention a lot. I'm not studying film, but like I know what plays are coming for the most part when they line up in certain formations. Like, could you imagine what another team who actually does this for a living and studies hours about, like, it's just the same. And like their head coach was just like, yeah, it's a race to 20 points. Bro, they went up, I think 9-3, and they were moving the ball all over the place. Stupid penalties, like every drive they were shooting themselves in the foot. But like I said, like their defense is so good, and I think that they just want to lead, and they're like, okay, let's just not fuck it up on offense. So let's just hopefully run the clock out, and then the game's over. But like the other team, they're in the NFL too. Like they're going to be able to move the ball, and it's like they just completely take their foot off the gas, and which is funny because they're saying in the Jets team is all gas, no brake. And I just think that is the complete opposite of their team. Again, I'm not questioning any man's job or any man's integrity of the game, but I mean, for fuck's sake, man, just throw the ball downfield, just throw it. Anything can happen. And they haven't scored a touchdown. The last touchdown they scored was against the Giants 3 weeks ago, and it was like a check down and Breece Hall ran 50 yards. Other than that, I haven't seen a touchdown in about a month and a half. And it's like
they scored twice yesterday. It just got called back.
Yeah, it's just like, what do we got, man? It's so frustrating. They were in such good position too. Like that game should have been like 17-3 at halftime. Legitimately 17. And that's being nice.
I texted Zack today and I was texting about the Lions and I said, if only the Lions had a good defense, like what they could do, like it's just nerve wracking with their defense. And Zack goes, save it. I haven't seen a touchdown in 3 months.
Again, I understand it's fucking hard. We get yelled at as players, like, oh, do this, do that. And like, listen, I get it, dude. I totally get it. But like, it's just frustrating. Fuck.
That's your number one team too. Like if you
that's
sure.
That 1000%. That's, and again, I think a lot changed when Rodgers got hurt in the fourth play of the game or fourth play of their offensive series. Like it completely changed everything they went through in the offseason. Like I get it. You have to completely change your offense, your team, everything. You brought guys over for him. You brought coaches over for him. He ain't there, and like you just knew something. And like they did nothing in their wide receiver room at the trade deadline. They did nothing for a backup quarterback in the offseason. Like,
would you kill for Josh Dobbs on the New York Jets right now?
Funny you say that. Here's actually a tweet that I saw. No. They were very, very similar in their games yesterday. Zach Wilson, offensive grade, 64. Dobbs, 64.6. Passing grade, Zach, 62.6. Passing grade, 63.4. Big time throws, 1. Big time throws, 1. Turnover worthy plays, 1. So it's like there's just people around him. It's tough. It's tough, man. But hey,
this is tough to listen to. It's tough to listen to the sadness in your voice,
dude. It's funny, like it's just like
you look shattered, man.
It hurts. It hurts. I just
he sent me. We still have our snap streak going. It's at like 2,400 days now, and he sent me his daily snap today, and it just looked like the face of a man that I literally responded. I go, "You look like a broken man."
It's honestly embarrassing. I'm fucking almost 30 years old, and I'm over a football team losing.
But you'll be like that when you're 50. It'll be worse when you're 50 because that's all you'll have. You'll be like,
how about I focus on my own career?
Well,
but
that's
the thing is,
not for
like
Sundays. Sundays are for football.
And I love football so much, and it's like it makes it. Like you guys were saying, like having a good team to root for is so much fun, and like,
oh yeah,
it's not like baseball where you can watch it every night. Like football is. There's only 17 games, so you have 17, not even Sundays. Like they play on other days, so it's like part of my off season. I enjoy it, especially the last 2 where they've been in it per se. Like I just want to watch it.
They're in it, man.
Ian, don't patronize me.
Fine.
I don't like that. I don't like it at all. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. But
Bears are still in it.
They're in it.
Still in it.
They are in the running.
Still in it.
They have a great situation.
They're going to get Caleb Williams.
They have the Panthers pick and they have their own pick.
They're going to get Caleb Williams
Hey, it's all about tomorrow, man. Today.
Why not be where your feet are and worry about today,
That's what I'm saying.
Isn't that a saying? Be where your feet are?
Be where your feet are, man. You guys have anything else that you want to dive into this week?
One more thing that I just saw on Instagram. The ALNL Talking Baseball posted it. The ALNL Rookie of the Year voting. Corbin Carroll received all 30 first place votes in the NL, and Gunnar Henderson received all 30 first place votes in the AL. So 2 unanimous Rookies of the Year.
I appreciate that Major League Baseball was trying to like hype it up and be like, who's going to win?
Oh, it wasn't a surprise.
Everybody knew who was going to win.
Yeah, like it was locked in.
Yeah, I mean, both guys had great years. Corbin Carroll, I didn't get to see much of Gunnar Henderson, but Corbin Carroll playing against him, he's a great player. Offensively, obviously, what he does with his legs and around out there in that big outfield. So, congrats to both of them. It's awesome. I did see the list of the last 10 years of Rookie of the Years.
Yeah,
very impressive list of players,
like where they are now.
Yeah.
Tom, big win. Volpe got 1 3rd place vote. There we go. It's all
We're
about
back.
to turn around.
Gold Glove.
Cashman's comments.
Gold
Here we
Glove.
go.
Anthony Volpe.
Yeah, Cashman
I
has
get
something to say about it.
I got to spend some time with Volpe. I had spent some time with him a couple years ago, and I got to spend some time with him this past weekend at the Gold Glove dinner. He's the nicest dude ever. He's so nice.
He always has a smile on his face.
And it's crazy. You know what's crazy is he's young. He's really young. But being the shortstop in New York, especially an Italian American shortstop in New York, and to have every person wants to come up and take a photo with him. He is already so famous in New York. It's amazing. But he handles it very well.
On opening day, it felt like there were 10,000 people there that were like, "Oh, I'm friends with Anthony Volpe." I went with Warehouse Rob here from John Boy, and he taped Volpe on the back of his jersey, and someone took a picture. Was like, "Oh, we're gonna send it to Anthony. We're friends with him." And it was like everyone around us just knew Anthony Volpe. It seemed like every person in the stadium had a connection to him.
That's so sick. That's going to be Zack on opening day at Citi Field.
Yeah, that's me.
Let's Zack, let's make sure we cut the tickets off, huh? All right. Go to what it was. Get your tickets.
No, SeatGeek.
SeatGeek.
Come on.
Go to SeatGeek. Get your tickets. Tom,
gotta
you
cut
cut
the
that
stuff
little.
up.
You can cut that little
Alright.
part out. You can cut
Just
that little
cut-
part
cut
out.
that
And
old
we'll just
chunk
do. We'll do SeatGeek. Get your tickets. Where's Zach's? Where's Zach's? Do you want to tell the people their screen times? Huh? You can tell the people the screen times.
We're doing Sunday, you psycho.
Yeah, can this be the
Sunday,
last
Sunday,
week of
Sunday.
fucking Sundays?
I am sick. Sundays is criminal. Yours isn't even that bad.
I know, but it's a third of the day.
Yeah, it's still. I don't feel proud of it. What was yours, though, Zach? Could you please say it clearly?
7:49.
Mine was
7:49.
Ian's is such
7:49.
Ian's is such a nerd number. His is such a number that says I don't even watch.
7:49. Sloan's the world's leading manufacturer of commercial plumbing systems. The company is at the forefront of the green building movement and provides smart, sustainable, and hygienic restroom solutions by manufacturing water-efficient products, including flushometers, faucets, sink systems, soap dispensers, and fixtures for commercial, industrial, and institutional markets worldwide. To learn more, visit sloan.com. Dakota, what was your screen time?
8:41. Honestly, any Sunday I'm sub 9, I don't feel bad about because I lay on the couch
Ooh.
for 10 hours and watch football. That's all I do. So
3:36
I feel no
for me.
shame. What was it?
3:36.
3:36.
3:36. It's going to be a W for Tom. Tom, I feel like when we started this episode, Tom was like, let's do Sunday screen time. And I think that's because Tom
He knew he had a good
Tom
one.
might have worked pretty hard on his screen time.
5:39. Thought it might be a winner.
Yeah.
Not with
Tom was
Ian
like,
here.
let's do Sunday because mine's not that bad. Yeah.
Tom, for most 99% of the days, it's basically you and me competing for last. Zach will sometimes sneak down to last place, but it's pretty much Ian wins, Zach's in second, and you and me are just who's third, who's fourth. That's pretty much the extent of it.
Yeah, I have the graphic that I make, and you and I are usually not moving. Sometimes you have to trade places or whatever, but those two names are pretty solidly in the last two columns.
Yep. And that's just how it is. It's the lives we live.
It is the lives we live, isn't it? I'm sorry that I just don't spend a ton of time on my phone, man. All right.
I'm
Just
not
with the people,
proud of it.
just seeing people, communicating.
Ian, do you want to tease next week's episode?
Next week we got a big episode. Next week we got a big guest.
First
Well,
guess
it's not
in a
next week.
while.
We're taking. Wait, let's get this right. Let's get this right, Tom, for the people. We're taking next week off. Okay, we have to be very honest. We're taking next week off because that's the week of Thanksgiving, and we're going to let people give thanks, and then we will be back the following week with our good friend, Sean Casey, to talk a little baseball, talk a little hitting, talk a little Yankees hitting coach.
Incredible interview.
The mayor is a fantastic human and unbelievable storyteller. And I can't wait for the people to hear the mayor.
I said it after. It was maybe the easiest interview we've ever had because you
He was
give
a
him,
beauty.
you give him an inch, he'll take a mile. Like you give him something, he'll run with it. It's perfect.
Nice, Dakota. That was good.
Thank you. I do what I can.
Yeah.
So tune in 2 weeks for our Sean Casey episode. This has been episode 184 of the Compound Podcast presented by Parse Rum. My favorite rum, your favorite rum. Go to Benny's, go to your local liquor store, ask about Parse. We will see you in 2 weeks. Happy Thanksgiving.